Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and we've got our very first Scream 7 update. And I'm not saying it's bad. It may not be bad. It may not be good. It's definitely not good right now. I don't know what to do with my hands. No, honey, you don't look fat in that dress. First off, if you don't know, I am Mike, and we do Scream updates out the ass on this channel. If you enjoy stuff like that and you want more of it, do me a favor and actually click subscribe and the bell on here, because only 20% of the people who watch these videos are actually subscribed, and when you click the bell, it lets you know first when this movie news stuff and these videos come out. So if you want more of that stuff,
I'm gonna piss on your face, and then I'm gonna fart in your mouth, yeah, and then I'm gonna shit on these walls, Ray. Ooh. Hey.
The story that came out from The Hollywood Reporter, from Deadline, is that Scream 6 filmmakers Radio Silence, who made Scream 5, who made Scream 6, who made Ready or Not, have signed on with Universal to do an upcoming Monster Universe movie. It was at one point titled Dracula's Daughter, and they're keeping all the details under wraps about it. But the point is Radio Silence has signed on to do another film. Now, there was this leak coming out from one of those "we got this covered because we have a giant freaking robot" websites that a lot of times seem to kind of fabricate stories just to get ahead of them. They'll like guess at something like, duh, Scream 7 is going to happen eventually. It's making $1 bajillion at the box office. Said that Scream 7 was officially greenlit. It has not been. We had the writer of Scream 6 on the show the other day, and he himself said that it's not been officially named. There's been nothing about it, so he can't even talk about like if he is doing it, what he would do if he were doing it, if he's not doing it. They can't even mention it because there's nothing official that's happened, which does seem odd because everybody's like, dude, Scream 6 is killing it. I feel like Scream 6 was already greenlit at this point. I could be wrong, but like it seems like it's the next logical step for you, dog. What movie is that from? Comment down below. What does this mean? Does this mean that they could just be signing on to do this movie? This stuff happens all the time. They could be signing on to this movie 5 years from now. But there's one particular point I want to point you guys to where it says that Radio Silence was actually eyeing this as a potential next project following the first Scream pick. But given how successful Scream turned out, Paramount wanted to move fast on the sequel and quickly got that film into production. So that means that they wanted to do this after the last film, but Paramount wanted a sequel so fast they said, oh, we got to do this. Or they just didn't get time to sign on, or maybe there was something in their contract where, hey, if the movie does well, you've got to jump right into production on this one that they didn't have with this movie. I don't know. But the point is that if this movie were going to come later, they could have still just signed on for that and done this whole dance after 5. So I'm of the belief, at least it seems to me like this movie, whatever happens with Scream 7, if Radio Silence is doing that, this movie's going to come first. So that means to me the only thing that we absolutely know in this whole mess of stuff is that we probably are not getting a Scream 7 within a year also directed by Radio Silence like we did Scream 6. That would have been the best case scenario, maybe, depending on how you look at it. You know, same thing as they used to do with Saw, and it worked out this time. 1 year later, you get a Scream movie, same whole team, they're all in place, ready to go. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So that leaves us with the following questions. Number 1, is Radio Silence directing Scream 7 at all? Who knows? I would, if you put a gun to my head, I would go, yeah, I'm sure that eventually they're going to come back and whatever, but like, who knows? And if they don't, maybe doing 2 films and doing it and go, hey, you know what? I feel like these are our Scream films. I think like we should walk away now. I would understand that. The movie wraps up a lot better than you think it does. I mean, I see a lot of people saying, like, we'll let them come back to do their trilogy. They got to do their trilogy. And I'm like, no one has ever, that I've seen, mentioned a trilogy in any official capacity. I think we all just kind of assumed for some reason, maybe because of Halloween movies or whatever, that this was supposed to be a trilogy. But if you look at 6 as a standalone movie, when Sam's looking at the mask and she decides not to follow her father's footsteps, and puts the mask down and walks away and that fucking banger track plays, you know, that technically could be the end to all these characters' stories for now. Do I think that's going to happen? No, says I, Ninja Star. I don't say that at all. And it's making too much money as is for anybody at Paramount to ever accept that. And here's question number 2. If Radio Silence is not done with the Scream franchise, and I wouldn't imagine that they are, I'd understand, hey, we've done this. This has taken up entire years of our lives, and we want to move on. You know, they've got to be a sought-after property at this point. And they've talked about doing the Escape from New York movie as well, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, but if they do want to come back, but they say, we need a breather, how long is Paramount going to wait? Maybe 2 years, 3 years. But if they say, hey, we don't have a timetable, we want to do like these 5 movies, which is possible. Anything's possible. None of us know. Would Paramount wait? I mean, I think that they would wait maybe a little while, maybe a year, 2. It's hard for me to imagine them waiting more than 3 years based on the amount of success they just received on the box office from Scream. Are they willing to wait for their guys to come back in 5 years? I don't know. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I'm just saying I don't know if they'd be willing to. How about you guys? Would you wait 5 years if it meant you got this team in place to do the next movie? Or are you willing to test the waters and see what happens next? So where I stand on it all, personally, I'm happy for them. Whatever they do, I'm happy for them. They're human beings who are living their journey, who are living their life, and I think it's wrong for anybody to say, I like this, so you keep fucking doing it, man. I'm happy for them that they're doing whatever projects they're doing. Am I the biggest fan of Universal? No. I just don't like the way that studio operates, so that's a whole nother side story. I'm just happy for this group of guys, for Project X, for Radio Silence, for God Music, for all of them, that they're getting as much success as they're getting. So whatever works for them, awesome. Now, if they don't want to, and everybody kind of wants to move on from it, then I'm all for supporting whoever comes in to do it, of course. Some people have thrown out some interesting things, like someone said Christopher Landon, who did Happy Death Day and Freaky, maybe paired with Kevin Williamson coming back to write. And for me, I can't even go down that road because, like, the body's not even cold yet. The body's not even dead yet. The body's not even been shot or stabbed yet. And we all know what happens when you get stabbed in the stomach in the Scream franchise. Absolutely nothing. So I can't really hypothesize for myself personally on who else could and shouldn't or whatever do the franchise. I'm just shocked that it's not a for sure thing already. Like, I'm still dealing with that. That is weird to me that someone else, the doors cracked open the tiniest little butt crack amount for somebody else to come in at this point as successful as 5 and 6 have been. And I also think that the idea of saying no one should be able to do it except for Radio Silence, I think even Radio Silence will probably tell you that's insanity. The idea that just because one person does something well means nobody else should ever even try is just pure insanity. I've never understood that thinking, even when it comes to Freddy Krueger. And there's also the question of everyone else's schedules. Look at Jenna Ortega. She's one of the hottest actresses in Hollywood right now. They're some of the hottest directors in Hollywood right now. So, like, trying to figure out all these schedules has got to be really difficult. And Paramount sitting there going, I want my fucking money, Greg. Get your ass back in that building till you come out with my money. I don't know why it sounds like that. And, Paramount's not one to throw out the blank checkbook, despite how much money they're making. I mean, if that were the case, we wouldn't be in this Nev Campbell situation. So my best guess out of all this, if you put a gun to my head or say a knife to my throat to be more apropos for the situation, I would say that I think Spyglass and Paramount are willing to wait for a minute for Radio Silence to go do maybe another film and come back and do this one, but not long. My best guess is that they would wait, they were like, okay, but in 2 years we want production started on this thing. And we want the whole team back. And for all we know, Radio Silence is filming this thing right fucking now somewhere. And films just don't take as long as they used to be made. So this could be a non-issue whatsoever, for sure. But I don't see them waiting more than 2 years personally. And here's a little caveat to all this. Something that could be interesting is, what if they do wait? And I want to know your all's thoughts on this. What they have mentioned before, specifically that a TV show or a spinoff of some sort in a TV universe would be perfect for this franchise. Not to say it's got any of the same cast in it or whatever, but just something to do with Scream going to television right now as just a side piece, if you will, to what's going on with the Scream franchise because it's so popular. They've mentioned that to be a possibility before. So what if they let them do their thing for a while, and in the meantime, they have them as just a producer or showrunner of a Scream TV series or a spinoff of some sort, and kind of keep the franchise in the light while they go and do their other things and bring back the movie afterwards. That is a possibility as well in my eyes. What do you guys think about that? And I know we had the MTV series, but that was a whole mess. I'm talking about this would be ran by the Finger Puppets. I'm a corporate puppet. What movie is that from? Comment down below. By the fingerings of the people who know what the fuck they're doing with the franchise this time around, and aren't going to go changing the mask and making it look like a waterlogged fucking fun dip stick. I actually didn't hate that mask. I just think it's Scream. Use the fucking Scream mask. Come on. We're making shit difficult. Doesn't need to be difficult here. So that's it for the show, guys. Again, let me know down below how you feel about the entire this entire Scream 7 situation. There's more to unpack here than Taylor Swift's dating history. So let me know how you guys feel about it all. The options outlined to you. What do you think will happen? Let's do a 3-pronger. I hate those fucking 2-prongers, man. They just piss me off. It's like my fucking outlet has 3 holes, you fucking piece of shit. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. But it's a 3-questioner. What do you think this means? What do you hope it means? And what do you think will happen? Those are... Fuck, I got another 2-pronger. Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box, or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not, yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking. Let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never ends.